Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. We are at the top of the hour but want to give an extra minute for everyone to log on. So please hang tight and we'll be starting shortly.
And don't make me laugh. What? What do you think, Selena? Should I go?
Good to go, Bridget.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. My name is Bridget Cerrone from Advanced Media New York, Advanced Travel and Tourism. I know I've met many of you throughout the years at the NICEDIA conferences and annual meetings, so it's my pleasure to be presenting Selena Ferguson from Google today to talk to you about digital marketing from a Google perspective in the travel and tourism space. So we're really happy to be able to bring this to you. We're hoping that in 2018 there'll be many more webinars and times that we can share information that's going to help you and your business and your destination and making things easier to try to find the travelers and the people that you want to come and spend money in your areas. So really happy to be able to present Selena Ferguson. She's an agency account strategist at Google, and I think I'll turn it over to Selena now. And please be sure to type in any questions in the space provided on the side of your screen, and Selena will be addressing any questions or comments you might have at the end of the webinar. So thanks again, and enjoy.
Thanks, Bridget. Let me turn on my webcam really quick to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name's Selena, and I'm a Partner Enablement Manager here at Google. I've been working at Google for 4 years, and I'm based out of our New York office. And the entirety of my time here has been spent on the Google Marketing Solutions team. So working with partners like Advanced Media to help really grow the business of their clients. So this is truly something I'm excited to chat with you all about. And let's dive into content without further ado. So today I'm really pumped to speak with you a little bit more about what trends we're seeing in digital at large, and more specifically for the travel and tourism industry. I want to start by setting the stage a little bit, because the reality is that we no longer can say that we go online, because we really live online. I'm sure I'm not alone in admitting that my cell phone is the first thing that I pick up when I wake up in the morning, and it's the last thing that I put down before I go to sleep. And it's because our phones and all of our devices, our computers, our tablets, are in large part our access to tons of information at the snap of our fingers, whether it's looking for entertainment, directions to get someplace, or answers to many of our questions. We're constantly connected. And what that means for businesses is that every time someone turns to their phone, computer, or tablet to look for information is an opportunity for you as a business to get in front of that person with the answers they're looking for and the information that they want. But you might be asking, how am I going to do that? There are hundreds of thousands of people searching every day. Do you need to be in front of all of them? Well, the reality is that there are some moments that matter more than others. So I want to talk a little bit more about what the moments that really matter for you to get in front of your clients are, specifically for businesses in the travel and tourism industry, and how you can really win those moments that matter. The first moment are those I want to know moments. I'm sure you've had these where you turn to your phone to look for information. Maybe you have questions. Maybe you just saw something on TV that sparks your memory. In the travel and tourism world, these are really our dream moments. They are when people are looking to make plans and they want to find out more information. Maybe they're exploring destinations. Maybe they are reading about what other people have done and traveled to. We next up have our I want to go moment. This is when someone's actually looking to go someplace. They've done the research, they've started dreaming, and now they want to start taking action. I'm sure, as you can imagine, this is a pivotal point for businesses to get in front of their target customer, because it's when their customer is looking to get somewhere, and ideally to them. These are our planning moments. It's when we're planning our next trip. It's when we are starting to make those reservations. And again, it's one of the first places that people will encounter a lot of businesses. Next up are those I want to buy moments. And I'm sure we can all agree that these are moments we have to be present for. They are moments when people are looking to take out their credit card and make a purchase, whether that's booking a hotel, booking a tour, going to a museum. This is an incredibly important time for business to have a presence online, because it's when someone is basically asking to do business with them. These are our booking moments. And then lastly are our I want to do moments. And these are the moments where people are looking to actually experience something. So this could happen earlier in their kind of purchasing journey, maybe after they've started making plans and they're looking to solidify what they're going to do on a trip. But it could also happen post the purchase. So after they've made all of their plans and have booked, this is really a business's opportunity to get in front of their customers to help them experience the place that they're going to. We call all of these moments micro moments here at Google. And again, they're really just the opportunities that you as a business have to get in front of your target customers. So what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today are the ways that we can help you win these moments that really matter in someone's path to purchase or in their process of booking a trip and experiencing a new place. The 3 steps to winning these moments are to be there, making sure you have a presence online, making sure that presence is useful, so be useful, and then making sure you're providing a quick and seamless experience for everyone who's getting to your website. So be quick. We are going to dive into each of these a little bit more in depth, starting with be there. 1 in 3 smartphone users have purchased from a company other than the one they were seeking because it provided the information they needed in the moment they needed it. This is hugely important because the reality of the world that we live in today is one in which people are more loyal to their needs in a particular moment than they are to businesses. And it's one where businesses can no longer solely rely on demographics, their target audience, when we have something much stronger, intent. Through Google search, you're able to know when someone's searching for your product or service and when they need it. So this is why we now say that intent trumps identity and immediacy trumps loyalty. That's truly why being there will make a huge difference for your business. It's the first step to winning these moments online. In terms of people searching within the travel and tourism industry, we took a little deep dive into hotels in particular. And this is pretty consistent across different industries inside of travel and tourism. But where are people searching and coming into contact with businesses? 82% are using a search engine like Google search. And this might be the first place that they actually encounter a business. 68% are going to a website. So today we're not only talking about having an online presence on Google search or on search engines and across the web. We want to think about your website too, because that's your online storefront. 25% are talking to their friends, families, and others. They're seeking word of mouth recommendations. I've been in that position where I'm planning a trip and I want to know what other people have done. And so that's also why we're seeing such a large number, 37% of people who have used reviews and rating sites in their process of researching hotels or even trips. We're seeing this number grow over time more and more so because online reviews are becoming not only more popular, but more credible. People, when they're not able to turn to friends and families, want to know what other folks have seen, done, thought of the people that they're going to be doing business with. And of these people searching for hotels, 70% made contact, visited, or purchased after their search. So people are not just turning to online to do research, they're turning to take action too. 88%, an even higher number, said that they either made a purchase or were likely to do so after the fact. Again, mobile in particular, when people are turning to these devices to look for information, it's because they're looking to take action in the near future. And that's true of people in the travel and tourism industry in particular. Now a little more on Google as a whole. There are trillions of searches being made on Google every year globally. For the travel and tourism space, that's 40 billion or more searches that are done in the US alone every year. That's tons and tons of people. And if we think of this as sheer reach, in terms of who we can get in front of, the audience is expansive. 55% of all of these searches are happening on mobile devices. I say that because we're now living in a world where mobile is probably the first device we turn to when we're doing research. And throughout this presentation, I'm going to be really plugging, making sure that your mobile presence in particular is in order. I know that when you're on the go, when you're maybe in the process of being in a trip, your plans change. The first device you're going to turn to is your mobile device, and it's going to be a device you turn to when you want to make a phone call, visit a website, or actually get somewhere in the immediate future. It's kind of lower in our funnel when we think of people purchasing, and they're those I want to plan, I want to book, and I want to do moments that we talked about. Some other trends we're seeing in the industry are there's a 30% increase in mobile searches year over year for travel. So we're seeing the number of people turning to their mobile devices increase, and this is the place that they are turning to search over their desktop computers. We're seeing less time actually spent on websites year over year. So this is important to consider. People are pre-qualifying businesses before they even get to their website. So we'll talk about how you can make sure that your search presence is one that allows people to pre-qualify your business and to turn to your business when they are highly likely to make a purchase. And then lastly, we've seen almost a 50% increase in mobile conversion rates. So people are not only turning to their mobile devices, they're actually making a purchase on those devices. Or making a phone call or coming into your business in person. 84% of people who are leisure travelers made their final decision on mobile. So mobile used to be a device where we would only credit really research to. People would turn to their phones to do research, and then when they get home, maybe later on, get to their desktop computers to actually make a purchase, and that behavior is changing. Mobile sites have been improving significantly, and people's comfortability with making purchases on mobile is changing too. So another plug for us to really think about what your presence, not only when you're sitting at a computer and looking at your website is like, but also on a mobile device. In terms of what travelers are doing and when they're researching, many travelers are planning ahead. So we can see here, in terms of lead time, how far out before making a trip people are doing research. 34% of people are doing research 60 days before a trip. But this is not to discredit the number of people that are actually making last-minute decisions, week of their trip, whether that's planning and booking reservations, whether that's having to change hotels or flights because their plans have changed. There's a whopping 19% of people that are doing the majority of their planning with less than a week till their trip. And a trend that we're seeing across the industry at large is with people searching terms that include near me. So whether that's affordable hotels near me, easy to access car rentals near me, fun activities in New York City near me, people are expecting more of their mobile devices. We expect that they know where we are and that we're basically able to ask it questions. So I mention this because it should be an important component of your digital strategy to include not only mobile as a big facet, but local searches. And what that will allow you to do is to show users the local information they're looking for, whether it's on Google search or within maps when they're actually looking to get someplace. We want to make sure that you're able to connect them with that useful information. We'll talk a little bit more about other types of useful information in a bit. And to plug those last-minute change of plans, we have those looks like I'm staying the night moments. I'm sure we've all been here when your plans change at the very last minute. This is really a case study to highlight one advertiser's success, Red Roof Inn, with making sure that they're showing up in their customers' moments of need and really prioritizing local information. What Red Roof Inn did was they built a strategy around airports that they had their hotels nearby, and they would target folks who had flight changes and that might be maybe stranded in the city for longer than expected, to make sure to then show them ads that were customized to the airport that they were in and maybe the situation they were in, and to get them into their hotels, to really be there in their customers' moments of need. This is really an example of success online, both being there and then making sure to show the information people are looking for, to show information that's relevant to where they are, to what's happening to them, and that will really entice them to come in and do business. And this is all to say that first impressions matter, and your business's opportunity to make a first impression may be on a search engine, it may be across the web, but what we encourage you to be thinking about is what that first impression is, and what you'd like it to be. Ideally, it's one that's going to get you more new customers, help you connect with them immediately, and help them come to you to do business. But being there isn't simply enough. We've already started talking about how you can make sure to provide useful information to people, customized information, information that gives them answers right off the bat. But I want to dive into that a little bit more in terms of how you can do that on Google search in particular. 73% of consumers say that regularly getting useful information from an advertiser is the most important attribute when selecting a brand. This doesn't surprise me. I'm actually more surprised at what the other 30% or so said was the most important attribute. Because in reality, if you're not able to get useful information from a business, it's pretty hard to decide to do business with them, right? Travelers expect that they're able to book on their smartphones, even if they're looking to book another way. So the types of information that they're often looking for is they're looking to price compare. We all do that. They are looking to browse or look for destinations to visit, back to those dream moments where people are looking for inspiration. They're going to look to get places or to read reviews, as we discussed, because those are becoming more and more important to businesses. And to look up hotels, attractions, restaurants, things that are nearby where they're staying. These are all the types of useful information people are looking for, and ideally the kind of information that you want to be providing users up front in the first place that they're encountering your business, and then definitely on your website. On Google search, how you can do this is really by taking advantage of your entire ads text. So you're given two headlines, and those are where we recommend you really introduce your value proposition, hook customers, or include a call to action that prompts them to call you today or get to your website to book. You then have the opportunity to direct those customers to the most relevant place on your website. That might be your homepage where they're given all of the information, or if they're looking to book a reservation at the moment, it could be that bookings page instead, to really help eliminate the extra steps it would take that person to click from your homepage to your booking site to filter for their locations and then ultimately make that booking. The third place that you have within your ad text to really grab users' attention and hopefully get them to your website is your description line. And that's really where you can educate and inform people about what your business has to offer. On Google, we also have what are called ad extensions, or features that you can amend to ads to include additional helpful information for users. Ad extensions can include everything from your business's location so that they can click and get directions directly from an ad. It can include your business's phone number so they can click to call you without having to click to the website and find your number. You can include reviews in there as extra +1s to how great your business is. You can even include call-outs that highlight what makes your business unique and some of your unique offerings and differentiating factors. Really, the three reasons that we encourage businesses to take advantage of these ad extensions are because they help ads stand out on the search page, so they take up more real estate with these ad extensions. They also help pre-qualify clients when they're on the search page. They're given more information up front, which can allow them to either click to your website if it's information that they're interested in learning more about or taking advantage of, or it could help ensure that the clients that aren't looking for your business aren't going to get to your website anyway. You're not going to pay to send them there if they don't click. And lastly, the reason we really champion these ad extensions is because they lead to better performance. We typically see that since the customers that are getting to businesses' websites have been pre-qualified, they're also more likely to make that purchase or take that final action that's important to the business, like making a reservation, finding out more information, contacting the business. All of those things are kind of driven by this additional information that people are getting up front. And that takes us to the last step to making sure you're winning these moments that matter. And that is to really be quick. We've talked a lot about how you can make sure that someone's first encounter with you, say on Google search, is a positive one. But ultimately what happens is they're going to click and get to your website. We then want to make sure that your website is set to help that user find the information that they're looking for and drive more business for you. But what we found is in this mobile-first world, people have really high expectations. We expect that we're going to be able to find information quickly and that we are going to be able to do it in the most seamless way possible. In fact, 40% of people will abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. 3 seconds is an incredibly short amount of time, in my eyes at least, but that's really the high expectations that as businesses we are challenged to meet. 47% of people say that they expect a page to load in even less than 3 seconds. In fact, less than 2 seconds. So 3 seconds is fast, but our expectations are even higher than that. And what happens if businesses aren't meeting the standard? Well, 52% of people say that a fast load time speed is important to site loyalty. So what you risk when not prioritizing site speed is losing customers, having them bounce off of your website because they're not getting that information quickly. 54% of people who have booked somewhere else, who have booked travel somewhere else, did so because of mobile usability. That's pretty staggering because it means that a large number of businesses have missed out on opportunities simply because their website didn't provide the experience that users expected. They might have done everything right on sites like Google Search or Maps, and finally, when people are about to take that last step to book, is where they drop off the map, and that's not what we want to be happening. In a recent study that we did, in asking what people dislike most about browsing the web on their mobile devices, by far the highest answer was waiting for slow pages to load. So again, I was really surprised by these results. I hate when I have to pinch to zoom, but slow site times are even more frustrating to people. We wouldn't keep people waiting if they were at your storefront, if they were waiting for a cup of coffee, and people expect that same experience online. They don't want to be waiting to get the information that they're looking for and to make a purchase. And so what this translates to is that page speed is truly dollars to your business. And the reason it's important is because we want to be driving more sales and not to be driving frustrated people away from your site. In another study that was done recently, we surveyed businesses that invested in decreasing their site load time. What we found was that the faster the site, the more sales that website was able to drive. So when reducing their site speed from 15 seconds to 7 seconds, businesses were able to increase the number of sales that they were getting by 24%. From 7 seconds to 5 seconds even, businesses were able to increase their sales on an average by 4%. And then from 4 seconds to 2 seconds, they were able to increase sales by 2%, which totals to 30% increase in sales when reducing site speed just 13 seconds. I say this to encourage you to take a look at your own mobile website, see how it performs, maybe try purchasing, making a phone call, looking for directions yourself to understand what the experience that users are facing when they get to your website. I want to leave you with 5 top solutions that we've seen for mobile sites in terms of usability. So 5 things we encourage you to keep top of mind when you're navigating your website and evaluating what kind of user experience you're providing your customers. The first is to make your site search visible and ensure that the results are relevant. So people aren't just comfortable turning to things like search engines, they also want to be able to search when they get to websites so that they can find the information they're looking for quickly. Make sure that they're able to do that without having to click around and without getting lost on your website. Similarly, implement site filters so that people can get to the information they're looking for quickly. If they're not searching, it becomes really clear what kind of information they can see on the website through filters and how they can get to that information without having to load several different pages. We want to design efficient forms with streamlined entry or use one-click call for complex tasks. Sorry about that. Make it easy for people to get in touch with you. If you are having them fill out a lead in a form, make sure that they only have to click once and that their mouse kind of drags throughout the different fields. Maybe auto-populate any information you have about them already so that there are fewer fields they have to fill in. If you have a phone number on your website, make sure it's clickable so that they can click to call, so that they don't have to drag to highlight that number, copy it, and then paste it into their phone. Let users purchase as a guest. This one can be extremely frustrating when you're looking to spend money with a business and you can't do it without giving away all of your information. Again, let users purchase with the least amount of information that you need to help them do it quickly and seamlessly. And then lastly, make it easy for users to finish what they're doing on another device. So if I do turn to my phone to do research and later want to pick up my activity on my computer, am I able to email it to myself, share it through social media? Can I log in on your site so that when I log in on my computer, I'm able to pick up where I left off? These are all things that we encourage you to consider so that you're not missing out on customers when they're looking to do business with you. And once you've kind of checked out the situation on your website for yourself, feel free to also use Google's Think with Google Test My Site tool. You simply go to the site, type in your URL, and what you'll get is a rating for your mobile site. It'll test how fast your site is and then how user-friendly it is as well on mobile devices in particular. I like to use this as a gauge for kind of where I stand in terms of competition. So you can go here, it'll tell you if you have an excellent, good, or kind of needs improvement load time, and this can give you an idea of what and where you need to prioritize on your mobile site. And with that, I want to wrap up by reiterating the 3 steps to really make sure you win the moments that matter for your customers. The first is by making sure that you're showing up when they're searching, that you have an online presence that's in order, whether it's on Google search, on Maps, having a great website. We then want to make sure that this presence is complemented by the information that people are looking for. Showing up is not enough. You want to be able to answer people's questions and pre-qualify your potential customers before they get to your website, ideally. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you're providing this in a quick, seamless way, ensuring that your mobile site is as easy to use as possible and is making it as easy as possible for customers to get in touch with you and to do business with you. And with that, I want to take a moment to really talk about the value of a Google partner, because I've thrown a lot at you today, and sometimes it can be an overwhelming amount of information. Here at Google, we actually partner with businesses like Advanced Media New York because they have the time, knowledge, desire, and resources to help businesses create an online strategy that will help them grow their business. I encourage you today to, if any of this was enticing, or if you want to continue these conversations outside of any questions that I can answer, I really encourage you to speak with a partner like Advanced Media to help talk about how all of this information can come into play for your business in particular. With that, I want to thank you and open the floor to questions. If you haven't already, feel free to go into the questions box in the GoToWebinar panel and input your questions there, and I'm going to take a look to answer them myself or pull in Bridget to do so with me. I do want to let folks know that we will be sending out a recorded version of this webinar, so you will have access to this presentation. It looks like that was a question that came in a few times. I will wait another moment just in case any other questions about anything that I discussed or other questions that you have top of mind about kind of digital advertising and advertising on Google might come up. A great question. What was the URL to test the mobile site on Google? That URL is thinkwithgoogle.testmysite.com. Again, that's thinkwithgoogle.testmysite.com. Great question. I will give folks another minute or two. Feel free to ask any questions, and any that aren't answered today, I'm sure that the Advanced Media Group is more than happy to pick up on after the fact.
Hi,
Okay.
everybody. Yes, I just wanted to, this is Bridget again, and I just wanted to thank everybody that hopped on the webinar today. I think for a first time offering to the NICEA group, this was a good number of people that hopefully gained some knowledge and understanding of what Selena was presenting. And as she mentioned, being a Google partner, we are, really, really excited to have that distinction. And if you do have questions or want to chat more, or you need to, talk to me or, anyone in my team, I'd be happy to take your calls. You can email me if you have any questions or want to pursue any of these ideas. So I also want to thank Jill and Dawn and Suzanne for organizing this and getting the word out to the members. So I hope that this was a good use of your time. I think it was, and I really appreciate, Selena, your presentation. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Bridget. And thank you everyone for joining. With that, we will hop off. Thanks for your time.